When you tell a story, some people say, and it's true, this is a true story. After the war, there were a number of Holocaust survivors came to the United States, and many of them couldn't speak English. And this person went to the Midwest, and he barely could sign his name. So he applied for a position in the shul to be a shamus. So the board member said to him, before the high holidays, we sell seats in the synagogue, and people donate money to the synagogue. Could you write receipts? You have to write receipts for these people. He says, I don't know how to. Don't know how to do it. So he had no choice. He had to support his family. So what did he do? He borrowed a small amount of money. He bought some properties. And eventually, he became a very wealthy man. Very wealthy. And many years later, he never learned how to write proper English. He barely sign his name. So eventually he has to meet with the president of the bank because he has a large account at the bank, private banking. So he has his private banker. He meets his banker, John Doe McIntosh, whatever his name is. And so he says, Mr. Cohn, Mr. Schwartz, could you sign your name? He says, I don't know how to sign your name. He says, how did you become so wealthy? He says, because I didn't know how to sign my name. That's why I'm not a beadle at a synagogue. That's why I was able to. That I couldn't do that, therefore God spared me. That was my blessing. My blessing was that I couldn't sign my name. You understand? Your blessing sometimes is that you behave, that they see you as a fool. Because they see you as a fool, they want nothing to do with you. They don't try to draw you into their clutches. Because sometimes that's the greatest blessing. Let them see me as a fanatic. Because ultimately, if you're seen differently and they draw you into their group, into their inner circle, you become influenced by them. And you're impressed with them. Because they value you, they praise you. And every person is very vulnerable to acknowledgement, every one of us. Because everybody is an ego seeker. We want that ego to be stroked continuously. But if nobody's willing to stroke it, then you go off somewhere else. You go in your little corner and you may be sulking there, but ultimately it's the biggest, greatest blessing in your life that you were sent to that corner.